C is still the GOAT. I'm not cheating on you, but I've been looking at others recently. Now, C3 caught my eye because it has full ABI compatibility with C. Now, first off, I really don't think C is going anywhere, not for the foreseeable future. There is so much code out there that, yeah. And for all these C alternatives out there, show me one that has a compiler for every single random microcontroller out there, then we can talk. Besides, C's been around for 50 years and it still holds up today. Languages like this are fine for creating new things, but forcing replacement sounds like you might be a... Alright, to check out C3, go to c3lang.org, obviously, and there is a link to get started and installation. So if you want to install it, you should follow the directions. You can get a binary, or you can be like me and build from source. Alright, so I guess this is what C3 looks like. We have what are modules, and we have these colon things. It starts to look like C++. So namespaces and print n. I'm assuming this is a print with a new line. Scroll down here a little bit. We got full C ABI compatibility. Fits just right out of the box, I guess we can use with C. We'll find out maybe a little bit later. So C3 is an evolution, not a revolution. The C-like for programmers who like C. That sounds like me. Operator overloading. I don't really like C++'s operator overloading, but they say no C++ baggage, just clean, expressive code. We are supposed to be going all over this boring stuff.
I'm supposed to start with these operation programs first. That's major bar.
Instead, let's do something a little bit more non-trivial, like try to read in a file and read it line by line. But first, let's look at the basic types. Got it? Awesome, we're ready to go. Now, C3 does have something neat. We can go C3C, that is the C3 compiler, and interface to C3 init, and let's call this Hello World. So this creates a whole project for us. So if we go in there, we can see a whole bunch of directories and license, projects, JSON, and a README. Pretty cool. Now, don't forget to go to the docs. So if you look down here, the directory overview of what everything is. Got it? Good. Go ahead and open up our source main C3. And here we go. We got us our main.c3, our sourse file. Isn't that amazing? That's pretty cool, actually. So it started to give us a module of Hello World, because that's what I named the project. And it went ahead and imported standard, I'm assuming, input-output. So we have fn for function. A lot of people don't like that. Whatever. We have the return type is an int. Looks standard so far. Main string. This looks like an array, or maybe it's a slice. And they call it args. You could also have your main, I think, just look like this. Either one. But if you want to get arguments, then you want the string slice array, whatever it is, so you can parse those out. And then we print n hello world, and we return 0. So before we do anything else, let's go ahead and run this. So I think it is C3C run. We can go to the docs, I think. Probably says what to do. If you ever want to know, okay, yeah. Compile, and then it gives us that. But we're in a project, or we can just run. Cool. And then build, we'll put it in our build folder. Let's go C3C run. It gave us some output, and hello world, and Bob's your uncle, because program exited with code 0. All right, let's go back in there really quick, and let's talk about these args. So let's just print out each of the args. We have a for each. We might. I don't know how well my LSP is working. So for args, I'm guessing right now. We can always go to the docs. It's always a good idea. So arrays, maybe we want to go to loops or something instead. Let's see, Control K, loop, for each loop. Aha, I was right. Cool. For each arg, in arg, so we're going to have IO print in arg. Okay, why is this all the way over here? All right, let's go ahead and try to build. And then build hello world, we can call that. And then foo bar baz. Cool. We got all of our arguments. Went ahead and printed out here. So 0th, just like you're probably used to with C or most other languages, your first argument is actually your program you're running. Next one is the first argument, and so on. And then we left hello world in there. Let's go back in, and we should go ahead and, I don't know, start making our file reader, right? All right, let me go ahead and comment this out. We don't really want that. We don't want that either. So let's go ahead and start with if args.length, or is it? Yeah, I think it's args.len. If it's less than 2, let's go ahead and print out print usage hello world and file name. We're going to pass it in like that. And don't forget your semicolon at the end. You're probably used to that if you're coming from a language like C. And a note here, our args.len, our args here must be a slice, because if I recall, it's actually like a struct with some kind of type, and then the length here, which is probably a ulong, and I believe this is some kind of pointer to a type. So that's what a slice is. It has your type, and then it gives you the length. So arrays do not decay in C3, which is pretty handy. So you don't have to pass the length. It's actually included already. So there's a little bit of overhead right there when you're passing around slices. So if we look for slice, yeah, here we go. Internally, the layout of slice is guaranteed to be a struct, a type, a pointer, and then USSZ. I think that's just a ulong. This is what your slice actually looks like. It has all the data, the array basically of the amount of items, and it gives you the length. So if they don't have enough, they didn't put it in, let's go ahead and print or exit. And then let's print F in. I think that's going to work. File name, %s, new line, and args1. So if we C3, build again, and then we run hello world without passing anything, we got the usage hello world file name. If we run it again with foo.txt, we get file name foo.txt with an extra line. Now, I put a new line. Cool. Now there won't be an extra line. We won't need it, so let's go comment that out. I guess we could say string file name equals args1. Let's go ahead and make a function that will open our file and then read it. So we're going to do, we forgot fn, or I did, read file. It's going to take a string, call it file name. That works. Oops. So it's a file type. I probably got to import, I think it's standard IO file. Seems about the right place. And it's file open, file name, and the attribute. So read, write, or whatever. Remember, go to the docs if you're ever confused. Open. Nope. Okay, we got one of these question marks. That is an optional. That's something different. So yeah, returns a file, file name, and mode. So read, write, append, whatever you want. Truncate, just delete it. All right, so we're going to defer file.close. So when this goes out of scope, the file will close. Now let's look at close, defer, okay, file.close. This is also a void question mark, so there may be an error. Let's look at defer try. There's lots of different ways to do things here. Pretty handy. So let's just see if we can do that. So what is it? What do I call this? Read file. So read file, file name, see what kind of errors we get. C3C build. Okay. Error. It is not possible to cast from file question mark to file. Our file open returns a questionable file. Is that how to say that? It's questionable. No, here we go. Error function void question mark, which is an optional, must be handled. You can either assign it to a variable, rethrow it using exclamation panic with 2 exclamation points, use if catch, etc. You can also silence the error with a void cast. Void the call to ignore the error. So that is at line 8. Okay, so we can just cast it to a void and say whatever, because hopefully the file handle will close. It should. Ah, we're good now. Hello.txt. It doesn't exist. Nothing happened. Didn't error. Now we got a read line. Is there a read line? Let's see. Read line and a T read line. Okay. Read a string from a file stream, which is standard input by default. That's good to know. Reads to the next new line character or end of the stream. T read line returns an optional string. The temporary allocator is used by T read line. In contrast, read line can be used with any allocator. I don't think I want to mess with allocators just yet. Let's see here. Catch. I wonder if we can put this right in a while loop. Let's try it. While, actually, I think it's a try. We're going to get a line equals IO T read line, and that is the file. Actually, what is the... Okay, it doesn't say if it's a pointer or anything like that. Okay, so if we get the line, let's go ahead and IO print line. All right, let's see what errors we get if we build. Okay, error require is not stream file. This stream should have been passed as a pointer, not as value. Please add. That's actually kind of helpful. It tells you exactly what you need to do. So I got to pass the reference. So now it's a pointer, and then build. Of course, nothing comes out because there's no file there. But I have a feeling we're not getting an error back. Is this supposed to be optional here? Okay, let's quickly look at optional. So an optional has a result or is empty. When optional is empty, it has an excuse explaining what happened. So some kind of error. Return excuse by adding after the fault. I have a feeling that's what the file.open will return is going to be the excuse. So if I add question mark to our read file, I need to catch it probably in main. Let's see what happens if I leave it like this. I want to see the compiler tell me what to do. Error, the function returns void optional, which is an optional which must be handled. You can either assign it as a variable, rethrow, yeah. So we want to catch. So we can go if catch error equals read file. If that's true, we can go ahead and print out error opening file. Actually, we have the error. Why don't we put format in there and put the string in and then put the error. I think that'll work. And then that's going to be the end of main, and we're not going to do anything else after that. Okay, cool. Let's try to rebuild. And let's see what happens if we run. Oh, yeah. File.txt that doesn't exist. Got no error. That's interesting. Did it create a file? No. I forgot all about throwing it. I should throw it. It's just being silent, I guess. I just want to see the error. Hello.txt. Error, opening file, IO file not found. There it is. Cool. Now we can make a test.txt and just put, hey, this is a file. Let's read it line by line with C3 PO. Do you like C3? Okay, now we can just run it with test.txt. Cool. Hey, this is a file. Let's read it line by line with C3. Do you like C3? I kind of like it so far. All right, with that all handled, we got our file. We open it. We read it line by line, just like we said. Let's try this tr read line over here. Let's get user input. So we're prompting with print. Hey, the thing didn't go all the way over to the left. Maybe the LSP is starting to work again. Enter the file name. Probably want a space there. And then this is going to be an optional. It's going to be file name equals IO T read line. It's automatically standard in. Yeah, stream, which default is standard in, so we should be able to type and it will go into the file name. Let me see, let me move this up here just so we have that as reference for later. So like we did before, if catch error equals file name, if that's actually an error, we should go IO print fn error invalid input. Put the string in there. We don't need a new line. Error. It's going to be something to get used to because in C with printf, I'm always adding a /n if I want a new line. And then we can return -1 out here. Let's go ahead and compile, run, test.txt. Oh, yeah. Cool. And if we run that again, we don't have to pass anything to it. We can put nothing. And that's a nice little crash. Error, file name violated. Didn't handle that error very well, did it? I'll have to look into that. Okay, I think we set out to what we wanted to do, but C ABI compatibility. Let's quickly try to do something. If we go and, I think it's in here somewhere, C3 interrupt. So extern void, fn void puts, and then you can just use it. Okay, let's do extern fn. I'm going to do printf. I think it returns an int. Printf char formats ... So if we go into main and say, oh, I don't like that. Let's go here. Printf hello world. Actually, let's see if that works. %s hello world. And now let's compile. Aha, no errors. Hello world with printf. Right from C. That's awesome. I sort of like this language. I just need to spend some more time with it. I did spend a little bit of time trying to get the LSP working. Apparently not enough time, so it's not really a deal breaker, but it would be really nice, especially when learning a new language. That's kind of helpful. But the docs, they're okay. They could probably just be a little bit better, but they're okay. They're okay. There's better. I might have to try some other things with it, like maybe trying to compile for the ESP32 or an STM32 to see what we can do. Now, over to you. What do you think of C3? Do you like it? You hate it? You think Odin's better, or Zig, or V, or C? I mean, I really think C's probably still better, but there's some kind of quality of life things with C3 that are pretty nice. Awesome. Way to level up by doing. The code will be hosted on GitLab. And thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like, share, and comment to defeat that algo monster.